Hello, Capricorn. I've had a couple sips of coffee and now I'm ready to go here. Welcome to your October general readings for Capricorn 2017. That's right, it's October already, and here we are. We're going to pull a couple oracle cards to set the tone for the overall readings. These oracle cards are going to carry through for the cusp and the mini romance readings that are going to come after these, just for some extra content. So yeah, Capricorn, I hope you're all holding in well. I hope you're all doing good. Thanks for all the support and views and likes on the September stuff. You guys were #1 for viewership for my channel, at least from the last 30 days. So I really want to appreciate you for checking in. I'm glad for those that commented that you are connecting and getting something out of these. That's the reason why I do them. Finally, there's our flipper for direction this month from the Oracle Compass. And you guys have the card number 46 coming apart. Okay, so perhaps a large reason why you guys have been checking in with tarot and wanting to see what the cards have to say for your sign is that a number of you are dealing with situations where, yeah, you may be taking a break in a relationship from a lover, from your significant other. You may not even be on speaking terms right now with this. And as well, for some of you, this could be internal. This could be like trying to understand what you want to do regard on something new that's come to light, or some new division that has occurred that you may have not even recognized it before, but now that like it's sort of been aired or open, some of you may be making decisions to walk, and some of you may just making decisions of what am I willing to compromise on, or I could concede on this little issue, so-called like losing a battle to win the war kind of thing. All right, so my heart goes out to you if you're experiencing some separation anxiety, or if you're experiencing a lot of maybe regret or something because you've invested a lot of time and resources into a relationship that just didn't pan out. This coming apart card says there's got to be sort of a return to wholeness. Sometimes, we go through these cycles of separation and distance from that which we love and that which we place value of our happiness into, so that we can return to wholesomeness on the inside, and then that comes shining through so new things can begin to manifest. Okay, that's for your direction. Don't be afraid to go things alone if that's kind of where things are pushing you. If maybe you just had like a teammate or a colleague like back out of something, and you could be feeling just a little bit overwhelmed that now all the workload's on you, and you literally feel like you're coming apart, in the nuts and bolts of the brain, they're, doing all the work at your computer desk or at your easel or whatever it might be. It's just like, settle down, do what you can. You can't do more than what you can do, right? That old saying of like, we're only human, right? And like, when we hear that saying, like, oh, you're only human and that sort of thing, that is actually like, it's not meant to be there to like limit you or defeat you. It's like, it's there for you to appreciate it, that, and also to remind us that we can go inside to uncover some maybe new potential of that being human. Humans do amazing, fascinating things when they are like regimented and when they are focused and those sorts of things. So if you're struggling with that, Capricorn, if you're trying to get there, make sure to do the inner work. Make sure like you can, like, sometimes I get into a bad habit where it's like, I think meditating is, I'll just relax for 5 minutes before I fall asleep, and I trick my brain into saying, I meditated for today, but really I didn't, because the mindfulness portion of it wasn't there, right? Okay. We got a kicker. Wow, there's so many signs pulling these same cards. This is interesting. I don't know if these decks are just like, I don't know, something's going on where it's like this, the oracle messages are being shared. And this could just be because, I don't know, it's more than just like happenstance. There's always like synchronicity into it. Like, but I think Libra and Scorpio might have also pulled this card, and one other sign has already pulled this card too. So there are people that are going to be able to relate to what you're going through at this time, not even just in the sign of Capricorn, but in other signs, especially the ones surrounding you, I feel, okay? Because you've pulled card number 3, Between Worlds, for your wisdom. So this is a recognition that we are more than what is happening, that we mean more to other people than sometimes what they tell us or sometimes what they show us. Sometimes things in the nature of appreciation don't really come through with flying colors. Sometimes it's more of a subtle thing, or it's like misunderstandings can be created because there's too much understanding. And what I mean by that is it's kind of like, somebody's not really like taking you for granted, but they're just like, maybe they're a little bit complacent or too comfortable in your affection or the relationship they have with you is what I feel, okay? And it's almost like you could be walking on eggshells as well around certain people where it's like when that person's around, you maybe feel limited to like the amount of authentic self you can bring forward. Maybe it's a risk of you scaring them, hurting their feelings. Maybe they get butthurt really easy, or maybe they're just in a position of authority, or they don't appreciate certain personality types because they have a limiting ego. And then that puts you on eggshells, like being around that person sort of thing, okay? Capricorn, or you could be doing this. Some people, maybe they enter your environment and they're like, ooh, and not that that's a bad thing, but it's like maybe some of you could be feeling like you could be doing better to accommodate people's senses of comfort when they're around you. If you're like kind of a hardcore manager, business owner, it's like take the time to really appreciate your employees, really appreciate the people that are there in your life for a reason, and like make it go beyond just a one-time gift or a one-time coupon to TGI Fridays. You want to do it so it's like kind of on a daily level where it's like, I appreciate you, or it's like asking them off from an authentic place and how was your day, right? You want to kind of see, if you're struggling to see things clearly, what the easiest exercise we can do is be authentic towards somebody that we don't know very well, and then listen with all intent of wanting to learn how they perceive the world or how they're perceiving things at this time. And it can really be an enlightening process, okay? So you guys have got some difficult, divided stuff up in your oracle, and it's not surprising to me, really, Capricorn. I think you guys are just in a time where it's like lessons and the journey is gone like a little bit uphill. Like there is certain adversities here that are for you to bring you back to a place of wholeness, to bring you back into, I feel, where you would like to be for fullness. And it's not just material success, and it's not just to get, say, what I want or what you feel like you deserve at this time. This is more about like listening to higher self and saying, okay, has the journey changed, or has the dream changed? When people say, I'm living the dream sort of thing, and then that goes on, oh goodness, there's the Tower card up for you guys. That's a tough one to see there. Some of you are moving. Some of you have experienced this breakup that's been going on. Some of you, it's just been a real shakeup. You might have had like, and I'm sad to say it, but like, you get that feeling where it's like an accident or like, really bad news that came at like such a bad time, and you're just feeling like it's pulling at you, and you may even have to take some like stress leave or some time for anxiety off of work to really get that moving, okay? And for some of you, it could be like financial issues as well. With the Tower card being there in your signifier, it could just mean that certain stabilities right now have been taken from you. Maybe somebody like had some back taxes that, didn't get taken care of, and now it's like you're on the stand for those, and there's nothing, you're feeling trapped or limited a little bit. And I'm sorry to bring, those are just the messages. I try to sugarcoat, but then I say I don't sugarcoat, but this is pretty gnarly with the Tower up like this. Bottom of the deck, you guys have the Seven of Cups, all right? So get grounded, get focused on what it is that you need to do, and even though, that you could be feeling that there's certain things you would like to be doing or that you wish you could be doing, the feeling is that you're almost spending a little bit too much time in that, or trying to circumnavigate the problem, whatever it means, because you just don't feel like addressing it. You don't feel like coming to terms with whatever that might be. All right. And some of you are like, I have this feeling like there's an option to like move, but it's like really far away, and you'd almost be like giving up like a lot that you've worked for, that you've established, but it's like you've already come to terms that has been limiting, and it's almost like you're wanting to escape that, okay? So we'll see how strong the resolve or the convictions are there for you, Capricorn, to do so. If you are in trouble, if you are feeling trapped, or if you are in a situation of something that is like abusing you or hurting you, go and seek that help. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a policeman, I'm not anything like that, but sometimes the messages and the feelings that come up is like, you should maybe take the time to swallow a little pride, go see a professional, get some help from somebody that is not attached to the situation that can really free you up here, okay? Wow. So crowning the reading, we have a Six of Cups reversed. Some of you, it's like almost like there's this family issues from far away, and it's like you're not wanting to deal with them. You're not wanting to go and settle it up because like whatever's going on in your life is like much more important. But it's almost like a broken-hearted thing I feel that's going on here, where it could be like your family's trying to reach out to you, you're having none of it, or you're trying to reach out to a particular family member and they're having none of that. You're seeing them struggle, you're trying to bring them back into the fold, but like pride is in the way here somehow surrounding Capricorn. It doesn't have to be you, and it's like pride's not always a bad thing, and I don't want to accuse you of anything, but this card lets me know that like somebody's ego and pride is in the way of like being able to return to harmony and wholesomeness. They're sort of forgetting the bigger picture. They're forgetting what's happening on the larger scale beyond their own vision, which can be like very limiting at times. And if you're experiencing problems in relationships, whether it's family or marital or with kids, that for some of you this could be with kids, that they're just like maybe not opening up, maybe not talking, not communicating. If you are having, it's because pride is in the way. Pride that has led to like an unwillingness to open up in the communication sector, a pride that has led you to sort of like blindside somebody's struggle from you because maybe they unintentionally hurt you once in the past, and there could be issues of forgiveness along with that pride. Okay, that seems to be what's crowning the reading. All right, I hope the news gets better, Capricorn. Coming in from the past. You could be dealing with a very emotional water sign here when we talk about this limited vision that is not, and this pride getting in the way. Oftentimes, emotions and things like that are to blame, and for some of you, this is like coming in the form of a person. A Pisces, a Scorpio, or a Cancer, an older person. I feel you might have a very stubborn parent on your hands that you're trying to like deal with at the same time, or could be like asking too much, or maybe you have a child that is like being very emotional and they're very almost like tough to like get into a place of temperance. Like this kind of thing where like little Johnny goes to school, he gets in a lot of trouble, and then it's like, at what point are you on the hook for it? Or, you have to reach this child in a new profound way that they can understand, because whatever's been going on just hasn't been working. All right, maybe even contacting the child's biological parent in order to get some order, some structure, or to get some help from somebody here that is able to have their emotional sort of P's and Q's under control. Okay, King of Cups definitely has his good side and he has his bad side. For some of you, there could be like people in your life that are abusing wine or beer or spirits, or not like spirits, but like alcohol or drugs, to a point where it's conflicting at this time too. That's only for a select few of you. This King of Cups is upright. Normally they've got their poop in a groove, so to speak. So if this is a person that can help you, rely upon them. If this is a person you are unwilling to reach out to because of a bad past, realize that this person might have changed, and this person might appreciate being involved in whatever struggle you're going through, because they do have the possibility to help. All right, now at the foundation, Three of Cups, you guys got good support systems around you. I feel you've got people that you can rely upon. It's just like, how come you don't want to, I get it, you don't want to burden anybody with what you're going through or what's sticking to you, but some people are more than willing to come through and help. Some people have already been there in that type of situation. Three of Cups, don't be surprised here if you like are sort of having a little bit of escapism, like going out and having some fun, but then it's like the next day you wake up, it's like, I got to get back to my responsibilities kind of three things. Three of Cups is like good people around you that want to spend time with you and want to feel what you're feeling and experience life through your eyes. This thing of between worlds and perception, there's a lot of like story sharing. There's a lot of people will be in self-reflective modes this weekend. They're going to be bouncing ideas or bouncing experiences off of other people to almost like get that sort of that mirror thing going. It's almost like how our environment kind of mirrors what's going on in our inner world. This comes through most strongly through people, Capricorn, and you could be experiencing that on a very heavy degree, where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. I haven't heard that since, 1982. And I really related to that all my life, but I've never heard anybody like even speak about that until just now, right? Things like odd things like that coming up with Three of Cups. And it could be just like the fact that there's a lot of socializing going on, a lot of drinking, a lot of even celebrating at this time. So that's a good thing to see that you're balanced out, having a lot of fun. Just make sure that you're not using fun and, party time to escape from anything that might be like kind of pulling at you, or any other larger responsibility or problem that's come your way that you're just kind of not really wanting to deal with, I feel. Look at this. I haven't even dealt with what's challenging you or helping you at this time. And it's the Four of Wands coming up here. Okay, so definitely I feel like some of you could be in situations where you want to reach out to family members, you want to go out, you want to be in celebration, you want to be in good times, and you want to bring others with you, is the feeling I have. And you're seeking for harmony, but there is a divide right now, and I'm not sure what that's all about. If you're planning a party, or if you're wanting to bring resolve to a situation with other people, I would suggest actually planning a party, actually like formally like getting people together so that you can get them on page. And it's coming as more of like informally, or more of like almost like a company barbecue, or like a mini family reunion, where you're like aware that not everybody and their dog's going to be able to pack up the motorhome and come to a family reunion, but maybe people within 100, 200 miles are willing to like take a Sunday in October to like come to one of the bigger places, a house, and so everybody can smile and have chicken and gravy or whatever it is, right? So Four of Wands is just saying you might be planning a party, you might be attending a mini gathering of something where somebody wants to bring a lot of accord, commonality, and accord and harmony back into situations where it was previously divided. Okay? Wow, and in the near future, we've got Eight of Swords. So feeling bound for no good reason. You are kind of the keeper of your own key here, and the locks and the bars of your cell around you are just your own limiting thoughts at this time. That's what the Eight of Swords is about, and it's showing up here in its truest nature. It's like, these are just little things. If you do take care of them one at a time, or even write them all down as like a checklist, and with the easiest going to the hardest, because as you start taking care of the easiest little things, the harder ones don't seem that hard as you work your way down that list towards them, right? So it's like, maybe you got to go do a checkup. Maybe you got to go make sure that, your finances are, you got to talk to somebody at the bank and then get that feeling out. And then you got to maybe call, Uncle Jethro or Grandma Jenny and say, okay, is everything good over there on your end? Is there an option here if I need a place to stay while I'm traveling through Albuquerque or Tallahassee next month? Is that going to be okay? I don't want to burn you, right? And then you start taking care of all these little things, and then as you get up to the big one, which might be like, it could be, for some of you, it's like somebody is just acting like a real dork or a donkus in your end. You're trying to tell them to take a walk, or maybe you're in a situation where you're evaluating two different positions in a career and it's like time is running out, that sort of thing. That decision won't be as hard as long as you've taken care of the little things that are sort of beneath that. So bringing some order to your situation, rather going to bed stressed out with 8 problems, you go to bed with one small problem and the other 7 written down on a piece of paper, and you're refusing to look at them for a little while. Okay, that sort of thing. Because what I feel here is, Capricorn, like, it's almost like you've got a lot of support, you're under a lot of stress, but you are desiring strongly to eliminate this stress and bring it back to a point in harmony. But it's like you almost like haven't figured out a practical plan to do this yet. So it's all about kind of getting her done at this time, okay? Now, in your environment, the Hierophant, okay? I don't see much in regards to decision making up at this time, but the Hierophant is also saying that like there's a block, there's a challenge, there's this anxiety that is present is here for a learning process. It's here for a refinement process. When the Hierophant is here, it's like he wants to teach you something. He wants to show you something. He wants to put you in a better place, but he's not just going to do it. It's like, this is kind of like The universe helps those that help themselves, kind of thing. And it's not like in a greedy fashion. It's just like you've got to do the work. You've got to, get it all sorted out within the mind and within your own kind of presence and understanding of what it is that you want. And make sure that it's real, and make sure that it's not too much of a burden on somebody else. And then the Hierophant will say, okay, here is a clear path. Here is a clear way to do this. And there is somebody in your environment, I feel, that is a strong giver of advice. Maybe they need to take their own medicine, but they are a strong giver of advice. And if you listen carefully to this person, because he could like speak rather like all knowingly, or maybe too quick, or maybe he's quick just to say like, just go do it. Just do this, this, and this. And you're like, oh my God, that's the worst advice ever. Maybe take this person out for an extended visit and pick their brains a little bit. This could be an older male energy, I feel, that's in your environment that could be helping you at this time. Okay, whatever that might be. All right, Capricorn. It's like surface level, everything is fine and dandy. We could go and dance the jig, the waltz, and the jive down at the dance center, the single center, and with our friends, everything would be okay. But then you would come home, and like maybe it's for some of you, it's a little bit of loneliness, or maybe it's like a loveless relationship that has just got you down, like on the deeper levels, where this is where the work is really having to happen. Okay. So in your best path to follow, you've got the World card, okay? Yeah, realize the success, realize that there is bigger destinations, greater things meant for you, Capricorn, and they're revealing themselves to you at this time. There are certain situations that you are in that you are beginning to realize that cannot go on any further. Like you're almost like chasing your tail, like a kitty cat, with a string tied to its tail. You're buzzing round and round in circles and you're not getting anywhere. Where it's like the universe, what is wanting you to wake you up to, is that you might have to take this risk. You might have to take this chance to like pack up the station wagon and drive it, to the other side of the country or a few states away to really put some things to rest. And there could be new opportunity, and you're realizing that there is more to life. What is that old Tom Petty song? There's more to life somewhere else. After all, it was a great big world with lots of places to run to, right? That kind of, I didn't sing it very well, but it's that kind of feeling, right? Where it's like, you know what? If you're dead end little town and you're tired of not being able to get, extra large, so-and-so at 1 a.m. if you want to, maybe you got to move to a larger center. Or maybe the larger center is like, yeah, you like the anonymity, but it's like the people are a little bit too cold because it's like nobody's trusting anymore, and you got to go back to a small town to get that, that good-natured feeling that you want, Capricorn, right? It could be a mixture of so many different things, but that's kind of the sense that this has to it. All right. Hopes and fears, 3 of Pentacles. So definitely somebody's attached to a job, and it could be attached to a relationship that exists within a professional environment in a job. That could be what's holding you back right now, okay? It's like the inability to see past it, or the inability to give it up for the, maybe the unsureness that there is something better, okay? 3 of Pentacles as well is good. Maybe you're just like, all of what I've said, and now part of this like taking care of the little problems first is like, maybe we gotta not have so much needless spending. Maybe we don't have to have so much like sort of service level celebration where you wake up and you're $200 more broke than when you started. Really regimented budgeting so that you can get to where you want to go. Okay, hopes and fears. The hope is that you're happy in the job that you're doing for many, many years, right? Sort of the fear here is that there isn't enough money to take a chance at this time where you're really knowing that there has to be something that's done here. Okay, 3 of Pentacles. All right. Well, there it is. There's the decision card. Where I was like, wow, because I felt it, but I didn't see it, right? And it takes this up here in the overall. Should nothing change at this time, you're going to remain. So this needs to be addressed, this 2 of Swords and this 8 of Swords, because really all this stuff can really be taken care of. This is a quick call out to like a cousin or uncle, or like getting on the same page with your lover or a friend, just to bring back good feeling. But the real stuck energy I feel that's here is in this 8 of Swords, 2 of Swords reversed. You have to open yourself up. You can't be in denial that a problem exists, and you can't be in denial about the fact that there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes the things that feel furthest out of our power are actually the things that are closest to our power. We just need to put ourselves in a better position so that we can realize that and understand it. Because the way we're not looking at it right now leaves us feeling powerless, Capricorn. You see the blindfold on this lady and you see the blindfold on this lady. It's about to come off, but there's work that needs to be done in order for that blindfold to come off, right? It's almost like she can't reach it with her hands because they're all chained up there right now. So if you can free yourself up, if you can see that some of the problems that seem insurmountable aren't so, and you take care of the little things first, eventually the blinders are going to come off so that you will be able to see things for what they truly are, and maybe not for what somebody else has convinced you that they are, or because of certain limiting, maybe fear or conditioned factors, that you feel like that there's no escape from it. And it's all like a shift of perspective and doing a little bit of work within so that the lack of decision turns into a situation where it's like now there are two clear, solid options at your disposal, okay? Capricorn, that was tough. That, you guys, I feel like everything's okay, and you're putting on a good face when you're going out there to do it. I just hope that you guys aren't just kind of like needlessly rolling around for a couple hours when it's time to go to bed at night, and you're just like kind of worried about phantom things like that aren't really. Well, it's not that they're not important, but it's just like it's almost like you're worrying about these things as if there was nothing you could do about them. And it's like. So that either one of two things need to happen. You either need to do something about it or you need to stop worrying about it, right? Those kind of situations. And that can come with a little bit of mindfulness, a little bit of meditation, right? That sort of thing as it comes down the line. Okay. We're going to look at the chakras, the energy centers, just try to pin down a little bit clearer what you guys are going through, where you guys might be at for your stuff here. Look at that. All the cards came out face up. I break all the rules of tarot, mind you, right? Doesn't matter to me. Look at this. Well, I'm not going to take any reversals in this right now because of the way they came out. We're just going to hit them the way they came, okay? We'll go through them and see. Let's start in the root chakra. What we've got here is number 12, the scribe. Yes, very much so. If you're stressed and your physical body is giving you signs that maybe we're escaping a little bit too much through, having a good time, it's time to get our bodies healthy, and it's time to get ourselves a plan in place for what we want to do in order to make ourselves feel better, look better, and just weed out any sort of pain or anxiety in our life. The scribe is saying, come up with an effective plan. Don't just wish it all away, or don't run away from the situation. We need to document this situation so that our learning can take place, so that our progression can be measured to certain levels of measurement, all right? Because there is like a sign that there's, and I don't know, I wanted to use the word pestilence, and I don't know why that came up. It may be because of these scarabs and these bugs that are here. But if there is some sort of health issue that's dogging you, or a loved one, or something of that nature, it's kind of like there needs to be like a full acceptance. Some of you are almost, I feel, are like breaking down emotionally almost sometimes, like even when you're like eating or even at the slightest little thing at this time. So don't be carried away in your emotions, or try not to be at this time, okay? And I feel it's like a thing of acceptance where it's like, you know what? Okay, X, Y, and Z is bullshit. It happened. It's the way it is. No, it sucks, but you know what? That's fine. It happened. We're moving forward. We're moving on. And I'm going to make a detailed log of how I recovered from this, or how I dealt with this. And when I look back upon that in a few years' time, or in a year's time, I'm going to be able to be so proud of myself for getting myself out of this, that it was worth every moment that it took, right? And why not? Why not write it down? Why not make yourself a plan? It's far better than going to bed and crying or worrying about it from a point where it's like when you're just thinking about it, nothing is real, nothing happens. It's almost like someone who procrastinates on doing the laundry. Maybe they're sitting and watching TV. They know there's a big pile of laundry that gets done, and like every 15 or 20 minutes or so, they'll think, man, I really should get that laundry done. Or, wow, that laundry's still sitting there. I really need to get that laundry done, right? The laundry is the metaphor for a bigger problem in this sense. It's like when you think about it, or when you dwell upon it, you are like digging the hole. So and when you're digging the hole, it's like the hole gets deeper, plus the pile on top gets higher, right? You're creating more work for yourself, or you're creating a deeper level of an unhealthy position that would have to be healed or covered back over. So stop now. Stop doing that now. Absolutely, Capricorn. And document your way out of it. Fix it. Actively do it. Okay? That kind of thing. All right. Because here, what do we got here? This Seven of Water up again. We had this up here in this thing here where it's like this dreaminess, these options that are on your table. What could I be doing? What would I rather be doing, you know? I don't, maybe you feeling like, time is running out, or there's situations where it's like, I would never be in a financial position to be able to do that, but I really want that. Well, it's like you need to get creative. The Seven of Water, the Seven of Cups holds a large part of creativity that isn't really like referred to a lot through tarot. It's always like the options card, the decisions, the daydreaming card. But there is huge creativity in the Seven of Cups, and this is showing up in your sacral area, in your creative centers. Okay, so you have got to effectively come up with some sort of system or some sort of creative way to put you in a better position. It's almost like your regimented routine nature has kind of brought you to like a dead end part of a railroad track, and you're like having to back up the whole train to like get back on and going somewhere or moving forward. And that's okay. I don't mean to like harp on or push it down, Capricorn, but what these cards are telling me is that you may have become so locked into like a 9 to 5 thing, or a routine of like, 7:15 the coffee pot goes on, by 7:18 I've got my socks on, by 8:24 I'm saying hello to my asshole boss, and that kind of thing. It's like we need to creatively like lose the fear to get around deeply ingrained, regimented, conditioned ways of being, so that we can see the world from another perspective. We can realize the potential within ourselves, that it doesn't have to be locked in a certain way. Some of you could have been very like resource worried, like maybe you were in a position where you were steps away from the food bank kind of thing at one point in time, and you swore to yourself, I'm never going to be that poor again. But you were in a situation where like maybe that fear entered into a deeper subconscious level, and maybe now you're afraid to like drive over to the other side of town to look at something you really want, because it's an extra 45 cents in gas and back to get back there, where it's like, just go do it. Like, what is that 45 cents at the end of the day? It's like, at least you could say you have done it. At least you could document and say, like, I went out of my way, I went and checked this out. It would be a situation where you could feel such boredoms or such narrowed focus beginning to lift from you, okay? All right, sorry, I'm being a little hard on you, Capricorn. I'm being a little daddish, but sometimes I feel like I got to, okay? All right, now we've got this Six of Earth coming at us, all right? We see that, we look at the balance in this card, right? We see that things, times are good, times are bad, but inevitably, if we're spiritually awake and if we are going through an ascension process, when we see these bad things happen in our life, maybe you've had a spiritual awakening, and then you're wondering like why nothing has happened, or why do bad things happen to good people kind of thing. This is a situation where it's like, as soon as you recognize the lesson in what bad thing has happened to you, this bad thing holds no power for you anymore. This lock and key, they both break free off of this person's neck, and they are able to move forward, to move freely about. They lose all their chains and shackles, because sometimes we become so focused on the problem, we don't spend our time coming up with an answer, or we don't ask ourselves, why is this issue here? Why is this problem here? What am I meant to learn from this? And as soon as those realizations are made, or you spend time answering the problems rather than focused on the problem, these shackles and these chains go away. So intuitively know there is an answer to your problem. There is a solution to this particular blockage in your journey, and it is going to come. But you have to be fair to yourself. You have to give yourself enough credit to unlock your mind from just being focused on the problem. And sometimes it takes like those little steps to get to the big one beforehand. Like I said, sometimes you just have to say you got to take care of a few responsibilities that you might have been procrastinating on, and now you've opened up some time or opened up some energy to focus on something a little bit bigger, and then you take care of that, and then all the problems will just domino. They'll eventually all go away. All right, now you've got Ace of Air here. So this up in your heart, it's like you guys are seeking truth, you're seeking your happiness, you're seeking your inspiration. What drives your purpose? What is life all about? Why am I here in this 3D flesh, blood, and bone? What purpose is it serving? Or many things like this. This is like that wide open kind of feeling again, where it's like wherever you direct your energy is where your energy is going to be most manifested. People have that saying, well, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. That's not necessarily true. It is from a limited perspective. But if you're thinking the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, please remember the grass is greener wherever you decide to water it. Wherever your energy is focused in October, Capricorn, that's where your growth is going to come. So if you don't want to continue growing in a certain direction, maybe it's, there's this particular aspect of your life where it's like you continuously put energy and resources towards it, and then it's not benefiting you, it's not rewarding to you, it's adding to more problems. Well, hell, we just got to stop pouring our heart into that thing. But it's really tricky, and I've been there before, Capricorn, where I got some really bad advice where I was struggling one day, and someone said, well, just pour your heart into it, it'll be fine. And I spent years because I thought, well, it's coming from my heart, it's good, it's meaningful, it's meant to be. But it's I forgot that I had the ability to pour my heart into whatever I wanted. It didn't have to be the thing I was struggling with. I could let the thing I was struggling with, I could let it go. And then my heart would be free to do that kind of thing. Okay? There is travel for you guys this month. There definitely is. I saw before with the Gilded Tarot deck coming up, all right? Some of you guys are breaking free and you're going somewhere. It's almost like you're changing everything, your physical location, in order to resolve this issue, okay? And for some of you, it's a long ways away. So you're freeing yourself, you're rising above, you're getting out of the way of some sort of poison, something that had been poisoning you or bringing you down is coming to an end. You have to have the faith to do it, okay, Capricorn? You have to take all of your understandings, all of your resources, and your faith in yourself, your understanding that for good or ill, you're put yourself in a position where you can move and you can grow. You can feel liberated in soul, okay? And let go of this fear. Let go of any kind of fear and know that everything, your thought forms are in a very subtle state. Everything is waiting to happen for you. You just have to turn the ignition over. You have to be the one that says, I'm going to give up a life for future potential happiness, that sort of thing. And this isn't going to be for all of you. And I feel like I've harped on one situation for a long time. So this is one of those readings, again, here at Northern Rad Tarot, where it's we could be benefiting a very handful of people. And for other Capricorns that have come along for the ride, thank you for doing so. I understand if you hit the thumbs down here, but what it's coming through is coming through very strong to help somebody. And if that happens from month to month for a particular sign, I'm all for it. I don't mind. I don't feel like I have to get all of that, appreciation from everybody sort of thing. And I hope you understand that. And I thank you guys for being here and getting through it to me. This one hasn't been easy. Capricorn, transformation's what's going on through here. The universe is asking you to become a new person. The source energy is almost saying, through your heart, maybe even looking back into you as a child, you kind of are reversing the mental process so that you can get into a mind of seeing that the world is full of opportunities, and it doesn't have to be the way that the established regimented what do they call them, the controllers, the regulators have made our reality a certain way, and we have to conform to it. You are free. You do have the ability to free yourself. And I think that this call to transformation is a call to movement. And the jailbreak situation where you are kicking down the front door to Alcatraz and you're going on a 17-mile swim, to get yourself free, to get yourself liberated from whatever this is. And whatever's got you kind of bound here hasn't been easy. There's been a very limiting, the blinders have really been pulled over. I showed you those two that are up with the gilded, but look at here, eyes closed, right? Eyes closed, blindfolded yet again, right? That kind of situation. You need to see the kind of the rainbow at the, or the pot of gold. What you're like, I don't believe there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That way, I don't ever have to take the risk of like wasting my time by chasing a rainbow, right? And sometimes chasing the rainbow, it's not the pot of gold isn't the reason why we chase the stinking rainbow. We chase the stinking rainbow so we could put down the dang shovel of whatever ditch we were digging, go chase the rainbow, meet some awesome, cool people along the way, and then when we get there, we realize, okay, even if there isn't a pot of gold, this is a really cool place. This is a really nice environment to be in, way better than where I was when I started, kind of thing, right? All right. So that's what's going on in the heart. You guys will be able to relate to that more than I am. And that's why I always pull clarifiers for the heart chakra, right? Because our hearts are all so unique and endemic to our own personal journeys that I hope you guys get what you're after. I hope you guys get where you want to go. And I hope that anything I've said can like help boost you to get you there, okay? Now, let's look. Like, I'm kind of at odds where like these cards come out reversed. They're not really like traditional tarot. They're kind of are, but like I'll just break the rules of tarot like I always do. So we've got now Seven of Earth that's come forward, and this is a neat situation. This is somebody here I feel that has to get something off their chest. They have to get their heart freed, right? We got open, nice chakra. We got open, nice chakra. But there's something here I still feel like intuitively that you guys know that may be like kind of poisoning the heart a little bit. I saw this snake twice now, and a snake isn't always bad. It just means like something's come first full circle and you need to break away from it. You've almost been like mesmerized or enchanted to stay to some certain degree, but it's left you with your eyes closed. And so try and get in touch with your heart chakra. Try to get that thing spinning again. And it may be meaning having to have a very tough conversation where maybe you have to play the bad cop or the bad guy to get somebody to see a certain situation for what it is, right? Or maybe somebody you're perceiving as like being really evil and bad and stymieing is just there in your life for a purpose of you to shatter a certain illusion.